All right, what's up? I'm back. So we are trying to take viewer questions. It wasn't working so well a minute ago. So my hope is that a very simple reboot there will help us. So if you have a question, go ahead and request to join the feed. I'm going to be picking people here at random. We were doing this a minute ago for those of you that were there, but unfortunately I wasn't able to actually access it despite pressing on view 1,000 times. The one person that I was able to get to, they declined. So let's try this again. All right, so just a bit in the way of rules of engagement here. Have a real question, nice and succinct. People tend to go a little long-winded when you do this stuff live in front of an audience. So let's keep it tight, be succinct, have a question that is very easy to understand and for people to digest. All right, here we go. Let's see. No. Still not working. Why? Must I reboot my phone? Oh, look at that. Look at that. Okay, got it to open. All right. Let's see who we got in here. All right. Guy Lelouch. Couldn't resist that name. Guy Lelouch. All right. We're waiting. We're connecting. There he is. What's up, dude?
Hey, Tom. How are you, man? Big fan.
Absolutely doing well, man. How about yourself?
Pretty good, pretty good. Lockdown, Florida. The
All
lockdown
right.
should start like tomorrow, but, we're already 30-day supply, keeping an eye on our businesses, hoping we survive.
I
Well,
have no doubt. I have no doubt you will. All right. So what's your question?
Well, I'm curious, what do you think, opportunities are going to show up in the next 30 days and what opportunities are going to show up after the crisis once things come back to normal? Business, stock market, real estate, what do you see based on your experience?
Yeah, so I'll give you the easy one. So in terms of the stock market, obviously, as the old adage goes, you want to buy when there's blood in the streets and you want to sell when everybody is jubilant and thinks that it's going to last forever. So that we're in that time now. So if you have the capital to deploy, then over the next few weeks is probably going to be a good time to deploy that. I wouldn't go crazy. I would not play a Wall Street bet scenario. I would be, dollar cost averaging your way in. I'd be buying in slowly over time. I'd be focused entirely on indexes. Like, I am so conservative when it comes to playing the stock market. But I think that there will be huge opportunities there. I am certainly not confident enough about the real estate market to make any prognostications. I'll just give you my logic. So the way that I would think about it is this: if we're going through a round of just like mass layoffs and there's going to be a huge impact to the economy, you'd need to be able to buy what they call an alligator property and be able to hold it for a long period of time. Now, they're called alligator properties because they are slowly eating you alive, because you may have to carry something without having rent coming in for quite a period of time as things settle down. But there's no question, if we're in an economic depression, and I hesitate to throw those words around, if we're in a downturn, if we're in a correction, however you want to think about it, but if prices have normalized or gone down a bit, it's certainly a good time to pick things up. All right, now in terms of business opportunities, that's going to be dependent on what your business is, so that'll be unique to everybody. What you want to be looking out for is actually identify what the changing dynamics are. So what are the facts that are impacting your business? So this is a time where you don't want to be dealing with things emotionally. You don't want to be looking at things from a panic position. You just want to look at the facts. And then where do the facts lead you? So I'll give you an example from a time of non-sort of stress, just a reality of coming into a new business and assessing what are the facts that allowed me to see things that other people weren't seeing. So I come into the comic book market after nearly a decade dealing with grocery stores. I understand distribution incredibly well. I come into the comic book industry, and it is very clear to me that the distribution model is fundamentally flawed. Like, it's broken at such a deep level, and as an outsider, it was like people would invite me to speak on panels, and I would just be looking around like, hey, we can all agree, right, that this is completely fucked and doesn't make any sense. And people were like, yeah, but there's nothing that we can do about it. And that to me just seemed patently false. So looking at what are facts of the industry, okay, facts of the industry, comic book sales have been declining for years. Where are those people going? They're going to video games. They're going to video games is the biggest one. And then they're going online. Okay, well, if we know that you're losing your potential audience to video games, mobile devices, then can you meet them there? Can you either create a channel on Twitch where you're marketing your books? Nobody's doing that. Can you, instead of trying to sell the book itself, can you use the book as a loss leader to translate it into other media? And that means that it's what we call hashtag steal this comic. So we came into it and said, okay, cool. We're not going to put all of our time and resources into the strategy of trying to sell a physical book in a store, because that's clearly facts, right? The facts show that that's declining. So where do the facts show that something's happening? Well, the facts show that, you know, of the, I don't know, the top 25 highest grossing media properties of all time, something like 13 of them started as a comic book. So it's like crazy. The top 19 of the highest grossing, or sorry, the top 9 of the highest grossing films of all time were launched in the last 15 years, and they're all Disney. So it's like you begin to see, okay, what's working, what's not working, and how do I build awareness, which is what I really need. So yoga studios, I've had a couple of those pop off in the feeds here, and they're asking the same question, which is, hey, how do I survive this? Social distancing is a thing. A yoga studio is the exact opposite of that. And my answer is, you're looking at the problem in the wrong way. So you're not addressing the facts. Facts, people can't be together. Fact, yoga doesn't have to be done in a studio. Fact, online is huge and allows you to be global. So the opportunity in a yoga studio is to be teaching yoga online. So that's where, like, if you just break this down, like, what are the facts, what's working, what's not working, forget how it's always been done, which is where people run into a trap, or this is my skill set, I know how to run a physical yoga studio. This is usually why disruption happens from the outside. People cannot re-envision their own way of doing things, and because they can't get out of their own way, they can't reimagine themselves, they get stuck in a trap. And it's the person coming from the outside who has just a totally different picture of how things could be done. They see things that other people can't see. So as much as I hate to say it, that's really going to be the name of the game. You've got to find a way to see what other people can't see. And the way that you're going to do that's twofold. Number one, you have to stop being emotional. You have to let go of who you think you are and the way that your business runs. And number two, you just have to look at the facts.
Okay. Sounds good.
Word.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Great advice. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
For sure. Thank you for joining me. It was good to have you.
You're right.
And I've never disconnected somebody before, so I have no idea if this is going to work. But thank you, man. Good luck with everything.
Don't worry. I won't be offended.
My man.
Bye.
All right, cool. So anybody else? I'll take one more, and then I will have to get to it. This is my writing day. Don't tell anybody that I'm doing this at the beginning of my writing day. I'm supposed to be completely sequestered, but I did say that I would do these every day. So here we are. If you have a question, keep your question tight. Get it ready to rock. IT Comics says, I love you, Tom. Technically, I suppose I'm paying you to love me. So, but thank you. That's very kind. Doesn't Tom look tired as fuck? No, he doesn't. Here's the reality. Can we talk about this for a second? I have bags under my eyes. That's just the way it is. I could literally be in a coma for 90 days and I would wake up out of that coma and still have fucking bags under my eyes. I just said, you know what, fuck it. I'm not going to go find the perfect lighting. I'm going to sit where I actually am, which of course emphasizes the bags under my eyes. And this is bed hair. I didn't do my hair. So there you have it. I said, fuck it. So I'm not tired. But do I look tired? Yeah, probably, I suppose. He looks tired as shit. Yeah, that's maybe I'm learning my lesson right now, that I should find the best lighting possible and always do my hair or wear a hat, I suppose. That would have all been good advice. What's up, Istanbul, Turkey? All right, so if you have a question, keep your question tight. Keep it nice and concise. Hit me up. Hit a request to jump in the feed. And we will do our thing. Let's see how we do here. we're back to not working again. Oh, nope, there we go. Okay. Let's see who we've got. All right, Magical Mind Diary. Let's see how we do. Nope. Apparently not well. Not sure what happened there. Man, this like you got to do it just there we go. Okay. All right, Daniel. See how we do with Daniel. Waiting, we're connecting. There we go.
Hey,
What's up, Daniel?
How are you?
Good, man. How you doing?
Good, man. I have a question. I own a gym, and obviously the gyms are all affected right now. But when you said that thing about correlating diet with anxiety, and I watch a lot of your shows and Sean Baker. So what's your research on anxiety and diet, and how can people learn more about that?
So I would highly encourage people to just do some really basic searching out there. There's people that talk about it. Rhonda Patrick talks about it pretty well. I can't remember who else is covering it super closely, but Peter Attia is a good person to turn to for most things medical. So I'm sure he'd at least have a jumping off point. But finding some people like that, those are two very phenomenal names to start with that are very reputable. And basically, this is a microbiome thing. So tapping into microbiome experts is also going to be super helpful. We've had a few on the show. So if you go even just search through health theory episodes, you'll see all the people that we've had on that talk about microbiome. But yeah, looking at the microbiome. So anxiety is going to be tied to neurotransmitters. Your neurotransmitters are wildly influenced by your microbiome. I'll say that in terms of just sort of really basic, simple shit, whole food whenever humanly possible. The one that I'm really beginning to think a lot about now is the potential impact of artificial sweeteners on your microbiome and thus the impact that that has on your levels of anxiety. So just from drinking diet soda, I've started noticing like, I've cut them out, not entirely, but I've reduced my intake massively. So the other day when I had a couple, I was like, I actually feel sort of vaguely anxious, and there's absolutely no reason I'm not having a day that I would think would provoke any anxiety. So it made me think, God, is it possible that that these
Do you
are
feel that more than actual sugar itself? Like I know Jordan Peterson mentioned he had anxiety and depression. We cut out vegetables, he felt better. But if you have like normal cane sugar, do you feel that anxiety too, or is it only from the artificial sweeteners?
So I will say that anything that dips, my hypothesis is the better way to say it. My hypothesis is anything that disrupts your microbiome and causes dysregulation is potentially going to be a problem. There's so much individual variability, it would be very hard to speak broadly. I think if you're having too much sugar, it's almost certainly a problem. It's entirely possible that there are people that are really sensitive to the toxins that plants use to try to stop us from eating them. So Dr. Gundry talks a lot about that. About plant toxins, but there are some people that seem to thrive eating a vegan or vegetarian diet. So diet is the one thing I will say it is almost impossible to make a blanket statement. So the only things that I'm super confident that people should at least try would be whole foods and then eliminating sugar-based carbohydrates. So again, it's possible that some people do all right, but my gut instinct is that if you're over consuming sugar or just processed foods in general, that you're probably going to have a problem, because a lot of this stuff, inflammation is like the easiest way to figure out if you're going in the wrong direction. So if you're young, you may not notice it, but as you get older, it becomes pretty easy to notice that when I have cookies, cakes, pies, candy, whatever, that my joints hurt. Now, diet soda does not make my joints hurt. So that one has been sort of slower for me to recognize what people have been starting to say, which is that it does dysregulate the microbiome. I didn't have any symptoms, or at least not that I could tell, because I didn't have any physical pain from ingesting them. So again, a lot of this is hypothesis, it's conjecture. This is stuff people need to look into for themselves. But I don't think anybody's debating whole food. And then I would say that so many carbohydrates are inflammatory, pro-inflammatory, that it's worth at least testing to see if you reduce that, if you feel better.
No, thank you so much, man. I watched your whole thing with Trevor Moad, and I bought his book, and I feel like it really helped a lot with this whole thing. Like I said, I have a gym. My gym shut down, but I pivoted to doing online training for teams, so I can make one video. I'm having 40 people pay me for that one video, and it's helping sustain the income. And that's really all thanks to your show. So thank you so much.
That's incredible, man. I'm glad that you liked that episode. That episode got a huge response. So Trevor is the man. I'm so grateful to him for coming on the show, and I'm so glad that helped. Thank you so much for your question, man. And yeah, give your daughter a kiss. Keep her safe. Keep yourself safe. And take care, man. Thanks again for joining me.
Thank you.
All right, peace. All right, everybody. I think that's going to have to do it for now. I need to get to my writing. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Much, much, much appreciated. Obese to Beast, sorry that I missed you, man. It's good to see you, dude. I haven't connected with you in a while. So hopefully I will see you in a feed again in the future and we can connect. All right, everybody, stay legendary, stay safe, and I will see you soon. Peace out.